Wow. Singahlala phansi. Well, kweli lizwekazi Afrika, ilizwe uMzantsi Afrika, xa sinqula sithandaza, sihlanganisa ngolwa hlobo, siwabize amanyange, simbize usombawo ngolwa hlobo, sibe sigqibile thina ma-Afrika ukuthandaza okumanyeneyo. Now, I'll introduce the second program director of this program to all of you so that you can know who is who. But let me first introduce myself. Igama lam ndinguSibulele Ngongo, ndingu-MEC wakwa Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture e-Eastern Cape. Ndihamba kunye nomama uSisisi Tolashe. Uzawuzonibulisa kakuhle ngukwanguye ke nomongameli womama othi xa kuthe kwakhona ingxaki yomntu ongumama avakalelwe kakhulu. Khawuze mama uzobulisa. Malibongwe.
Igama lamakhosikazi. Human rights are women's rights. Women's rights are human rights. Human rights are women's rights are human rights. Thank you very much, Program Director.
Thank you so much. That was our co-program director. Unkhumbuza ibale bendike ndaliva xa ndidlule xa kwendlela, so abantwana bebencokola bedebate uba i-human rights yintoni. So uthi omnye human rights yeyobani? Athi omnye human beings. Who are the human beings? The other one says, it's my father. Oh, so it's only your father. So women are not part of the human beings. And then the debate started. So now that Honorable Minister Tolashe is reminding me, uba nyani abantu abangomama nabo baya fanele ukuba baxhamle kule nto inokwenza namalungelo wabantu. Masikhumbuzane ke ukuba lowo nalowo ufanele ukuphila ngawakhe amalungelo ngendlela efanelekileyo. Without wasting time, before I invite the Honorable Premier to come and do the welcoming remarks here, I'm reminded that as we were coming here, we were doing build-up activities, and in some of those build-up activities, we had one that was held in Kobo, where we were reminded that in the Eastern Cape, we have about 5 massacres that are turning 40 this year. And one of those 5 massacres is this one, the Kariega massacre of the 21st March 1985, apho abantu babulawa belwela malungelo wabo. I-Duncan Village massacre, apho kwabulawa abantu abayi-19 on the 11th of August 1985. Ndifuna nje sikhumbule sithi xa sijonge emva umqela owenziweyo, kodwa sikhumbule ukuba in whatever that we are celebrating, in whatever freedom that we are benefiting from, ayizange ize lula. Koko ke sifanelwe kukuyikhusela nganxa zonke singabantu bephondo lempuma koloni. I-Alwal North massacre, apho nakhona abantu abayi-24 babulawa bezama ukuthi nathi masiphile ngendlela efanelekileyo nabanye abantu. I-Queenstown massacre, about 14 people were killed there. Ngendlela nayo eyayimanyumnyezi ibuhlungu, kukuhlukunyezwa nje. Kodwa nje kukhona iphathi endicinga uba asiyibali kwi-massacres zethu ezisichaphazelayo siliphondo, la Maseru massacre. Apha e-Eastern Cape we had about 3 people ababulawa kula 9 yabantu babebulawa eMaseru. So siliphondo lenqwele kona siyableeda. Kuyabonakala into yokokuba amanxeba wethu abotshwa esecekeceke, esavuza igazi. Sifaneleke ukusondelelana, sicelebrate sonwabele olu suku lwamalungelo abantu kodwa sikhumbule ukuba kukhona abantu abawayo, kukhona ingxwelerha ezasindayo kulanto esithi ke masondelelane ukuze basibone into yokokuba ngenene nangenyaniso zange bawele ilize. Now I will invite makubekho uzinzo kaloba phe. Camakushani. Ake nithi camakwa apha egqirheni. Makhosi. Yeah. Now I will invite the Honorable Premier of the Eastern Cape Province, the Triple D of the province, the delicious one, to do the welcoming remarks.
Thank you very much, Program Director, Honorable MEC Ngongo. Greetings to His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Honorable Mashatile, and his wife, the second lady. And greetings to Mrs. Mabuyane in absentia. All ministers today and deputy ministers that are present, the members of the Executive Council, Mayor of Nelson Mandela, and all other mayors that are here from various municipalities of our province, MPs, MPLs, and all councillors, the religious and traditional leadership, families and victims of Langa massacre, the surviving victims of Langa massacre, the people of Kariega, abantu base Nelson Mandela, abantu base Eastern Cape, molweni ephondweni. Mandibulele sekela mongameli ngeli thuba lokokuba ndikugabulele izigcawu ngelithi sidibana apha namhlanje sizokukhumbula sikhumbuzana kwaye sinika imbeko kumaqhawe namaqhawekazi awa apha kwalanga eKariyerha ngalomhla ngo-1985. This day, Honorable Deputy President, is forever etched in our liberation struggle history, and this year marks 40th anniversary of the Uteniate massacre. This is not just a day of reflection for the people of Kariega, nor merely a painful chapter for the people of Eastern Cape alone. This is a day of collective national memory, a day when the full brutality of apartheid reared its ugly head. We'll remember that on this very same day in 1960, our people were perished in the hands of the apartheid police in Sharpeville in Gauteng. We want to remind all and sundry in our country that innocent lives were sacrificed at the altar of a system built on oppression and injustice. Whatever our challenges as a country are now, we must never forget that some of our fellow compatriots laid down their lives so that we can live in a free, united, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic and prosperous South Africa. I'm quite happy to see that element of non-racialism today reflected in the audience. As the Freedom Day or freedom-loving people of Eastern Cape, we remain committed to these ideals that our forebears fought for. Today, our national calendar this the day known as a Human Rights Day because the democratic government wanted to heal the divisions of the past by committing that never again shall it be that the rights of South Africans will be trampled upon by the state. It is an honor, Deputy President, to have three surviving victims of the Langa massacre present here with us today. Umama Thokozama Mdye, notata uZixolisile Maseti, notata uKwanele Bhucwa. Mr. Bhucwa, who was riding a bicycle at the forefront of the procession, was the first to be struck by a bullet. He still bears the physical scars of that day and walks with a limp. Similarly, Umama Mdye and Mr. Maseti suffered severe injuries with bullets still lodged in their bodies. For 40 years, they have endured unimaginable agony and unbearable pain. Deputy President, in March 2024, the board of the Utenek Massacre Foundation came to us when we were here celebrating this day with a plea to ask the presidents to agree in having this Human Rights Day here in Kariega to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Langa massacre. And I'm proud to stand before you today and say, we have delivered on that request. Their second plea, Deputy President, was the South African government to open an inquest into the events of that tragic day, to uncover the full truth and to ensure that history records with absolute clarity what really transpired here 40 years ago. I'm now requesting your support, Deputy President, to initiate the process of establishing the inquest on behalf of this community. Deputy President, here in the Eastern Cape, we use the commemoration of national days not to shout revolutionary slogan, not to open old wounds, but to give an account of what we are doing as the democratically elected government to develop our communities and better the lives of our people. For instance, we view unemployment as a human rights issue which affects many of our people. The news we are bringing to the people of this Eastern Cape on this Human Rights Day is that through the public employment programs, Mr. President, Deputy President, we aim to create 600,000 work opportunities for the people of Eastern Cape in the next 5 years. Government will also capacitate young people with skills so that they can be able to be employable to open their own businesses. By rolling out training programs in partnership with various sectors to benefit more than 37,000 young people. To the unemployed young people of our province, we want to say the Eastern Cape Department of Education will invest 567 million to implement employment initiatives that will benefit 28,000 unemployed youth. That program will start this year. Be on the lookout for the applications. Last month, the Minister of Employment and Labor, Deputy President, was here in our province in Mthatha to launch the program of labor activation with an investment value of 906 million to benefit 23,000 people in our province, including unemployed graduates. We are creating an environment for investors to locate in our province to create jobs which our people yearn for. The Eastern Cape is a construction site, and here in Nelson Mandela Bay, we are building a mother well to Ado Road with an investment of 874 million. Decent housing is also a human rights matter, and there's a huge demand for housing in Nelson Mandela Metro. In the next 5 years, Deputy President and ministers, we are investing 4.3 billion to build 26,400 houses. And some of those houses will be built here in Nelson Mandela and many here in Kariega. Education is not a privilege, but a human right. That is why we have invested 70 million in partnership with Mesita to pay amatyala abantwana bethu abapasileyo kwi-universities abangakwazi ufumana izidanga zabo. Sibanike imali yoba bafumane izidanga zabo. In basic education, we are investing, Deputy President, 7.4 billion to build and refurbish 138 schools in our province, so that our children can learn in a conducive environment. The school we were at, Deputy President, I was there myself to open it. There are also a number of schools that I went to here in Kariega, Kwanobutle, that are state of the art that we were handing over ourselves. 10 of those schools that I'm talking about, 138, are in Nelson Mandela Metro, and 30 are in the neighboring Sarah Patman district. Health is a human right matter. The medical legal fees that are consuming our health budget in the Eastern Cape are causing problems and are causing us nightmares in cases like cerebral palsy related matters. We're establishing 11 cerebral palsy centers of excellency with a budget of 131 million for strengthening treatment to mitigate the medical legal claims. We are working to ensure that our people live healthy lives and that life expectancy reaches an average of 70 years by 2030. Therefore, we are investing 7.1 billion to intensify efforts on preventing maternal and child mortality, chronic diseases, mental health, as well as severe and acute malnutrition. Deputy President, floods have affected this community of Nelson Mandela in the recent past, affecting crucial infrastructure such as roads and bridge here in Kariega. We are ensuring that we respond swiftly to such natural disasters and help our people to rebuild their lives. Nelson Mandela Metro is one of the 14 municipalities that we are putting under microscopic view. Deputy President, the problem of coalition government has caused chaos in South Africa. We have experienced this problem here since 2016. We have been unable to get municipality functioning properly, moving forward with speed. We are quite happy that now the ANC, as a party that is in majority, has managed to get back the executive mayorship to align properly with the province and national. We thank that GNU, because without GNU breakthrough, I don't think we would have managed to get back those mayors of Ekurhuleni, Johannesburg, etc. So that leadership responsibility shown by the ANC at a national level, when it got 40%, it has helped us to provide leadership across the country. Siyacela ke bantu bakuthi into kokuba imicimbi enjengale ewe imicimbi eyivumelayo into yokuqhankqalaza no protester. Deputy President, the family eme phaa kula mnyango yifamily yakwa Langboy ekhalazela umhlaba wayo owathathwayo apha eKegwood. Ngumcimbi Deputy President ophethweyo olandelwayo nguMinister wakwa Land Affairs. Nam izolo ndibe nemizuzwana nabo ndabaqinisekisa ndibabonisa impendulo ezivela kuMinister xa bendithetha naye ngala mcimbi. Ndabacebisa uba mabaphinde ke bandibhalele ndizokwazi unika uMinister wakwa Land Affairs lento eyinyani abathi bona asiyonyani kule mpendulo. So ndiyacela ke bayazi ingxaki yabo iyalandelwa Akukho sizathu ke mhlawumbi sokwenza laa nto kuba sithe siyabamamela siyaqhubeka nobamamela. Ingxaki njengoba uprogram director besitsho apha, i-Eastern Cape has suffered a lot, Deputy President. We have got more than 4 massacres in this province. You talk about Queenstown, you talk about Starterham, you talk about Edgington in East London, Duncan Village, you talk about this one, Deputy Minister of South African National Defence Force. These are massacres that are including Bishop massacre. What do we do? It must actually be able to address the bigger problem that we have, not send a quick fix solution. We're working on a comprehensive, sustainable strategy to deal with that. If victims ezizilapha that qualify to housing, because in South Africa there are laws that must be complied with. Awunikwa ndlu nje for the sake of unikwa indlu. Sivene basifuna uthatha abantwana sibase esikolweni bakwazi ukukhulula ifamily zabo. Abangenazindlu sibokhele izindlu. More than 40 houses will be built here in Kariega for the victims. The massacre eleya lapha kwaLanga. That work is being done, championed by the executive mayor now. The biggest violators of human rights in this province are criminals that are killing our people, Deputy President. They have recently claimed the lives of Ms. Pamela Mabini, who was a gender-based violence activist. I spent a day with the women of our province yesterday here in a session to discuss crime and gender-based violence here in Gqeberha. The women of our province say we must accelerate action of combating crime and gender-based violence. Minister Kobai ndivile kuba eminye imithetho esisasebenza ngayo imithetho ephelelweyo lesilawula ngayo le micimbi yecrime efuna sijonge lo mithetho ngokukhawuleza. As a province, we are putting more than 200 million to reinforce work to ensure that we are able to eradicate criminality and crime in our society, deal with those. Kodwa urhulumente akazuba nalo ipolisa nepolisa endlini. Le nto ithi gender-based violence ngabantu aba sithi siyabathanda bangoswiti no-baby sihlala nabo sitshatale kubo ngenye imini bavuka becinga usibulala. So ezo cases ke we're dealing with them. More than 119 life sentences have been given kubantu abophule umthetho kulo mcimbi we-gender-based violence up. That involves about 84 accused persons. 119 life sentences of those people that have been imposed. Let me conclude, Deputy President, by saying, on this Human Rights Day, we urge the people of South Africa to reconnect with our values of Ubuntu. Masisebenze sonke sibambisaneni. Le crime ilapha noba yeyamagenza, noba yeye-gangsters. Masingayiniki indawo yokuphila phakathi kwethu. Let us fetch the best versions of ourselves and contribute positively to building a thriving families. We are working hard to turn around the Eastern Cape, Deputy President. As we said that we are making this province a construction site, and we believe the time for Eastern Cape to thrive is now. Sicela ke wonke umuntu asebenzisane nathi. Xa sikhumbula le mini sikhumbula la maqhawe nala maqhawekazi. Siyazi into kokuba sinika ubomi obungcono kwabo baphilayo kuba abo balala ukuthula bavalwa sithi amehlo bona bavule thina amehlo khona ukuze sivuseleleke izazela zemihla ngemihla kumsebenzi esiwenzayo eburhulumenteni. Sihloniphe urhulumente ingakumbi ke lo we-GNU kuba uyambona uba ingathi ubanjwe ngentambo yesicawu kodwa siyaphambili. Enkosi.
Uthi ke masimhloniphe urhulumente kuba siyaphambili. Bambelelwe ngaloo nto okubambelelwe ngayo. Thank you so much, Honorable Premier, for such fruitful welcoming. of each and every one. I did not want to mention each and every one of us here. However, I feel like it's important that I must indicate that the Provincial Secretary of the South African Youth Council is amongst us, Mr. Musuli Kwele, leading a delegation that was clapping, Honorable Premier, when you were saying our main focus is on job creation and there's a certain amount allocated aside for creating jobs for young people. Masibulise nje nobhala molo. Yeah, nangia. Thank you so much. Now we will invite to stage a learner to recite for us the South African Constitution preamble. I'm not sure, HOD Master, if that learner is ready. All right, the learners are ready. Now we will get that recital.
I would love to first take this blessed opportunity and greet the Deputy President, all its stakeholders, the Premier, the ministers, all dignitaries, and fellow South Africans at large. Standing before you as Dansta Pumelela. From my right-hand side, we have Myo College Boys High School, Ruben Perrin Special School for the Deaf, Solomon Mahlangu Senior Secondary School, Brandwag High School, and Gamble Secondary School. I thank you. These schools will be the schools that will be doing preamble for the day.
We, the people of South Africa, recognize the injustices of our past, honor those who suffered for justice and freedom in our land, respect those who have worked to build and develop our country.
Sikholelwa ke lokuba uMzantsi Afrika ngowabo bonke abahlala kulo bemanyene nangona bengafani. Ngoko ke ngabammeli bethu abanyule ngokukhululekileyo.
Samkela lo mgaqo-siseko njengomthetho owongamileyo weRepublic ukuze kungcibeke imisansa yexesha elidlulileyo kwakheke noluntu lwentando yesininzi ubulungisa basentlalweni namalungu asisiseko.
Die grondslag te lê op 'n demokratiese en oop samelewing en die regering op 'n gegrondves is op die wil van elke van die bevolking en elke burger gelyk deur die reg beskerm word.
Die lewensgehalte van alle burgers te verhoog en die potensiaal van elke mens te ontsluit.
En 'n verenigde en demokratiese Suid-Afrika te bou wat sy regmatige plek as 'n soewereine staat in die gemeenskap van nasies kan inneem.
May God protect our people. Nkosi sikelele Afrika. Morena Nkosi Yesu. Nkosi South Africa. God bless South Africa. Muzimu Tatukisa Africa. Nkosi Tatukisa Africa.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think HOD Mastop will need to have more and more of those so that our people get to understand and appreciate what those learners were doing. Now we will go to the chairperson of the South African Human Rights Commission, Mr. Chris Nissen. Mr. Chris Nissen, you have 10 minutes to take these people through about what you do.
Your Excellency, Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Premier of the Eastern Cape, Minister Kubai of Justice Department, Minister Mackenzie of Sports and Arts and Culture, Deputy Ministers, Members of Parliaments, MECs, HODs, and all who are present here today. I've got a simple task. Two of it is to read to you greetings from the United Nations High Commission on Human Rights and a statement by Mr. Balkar Razak, Chairperson of the Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. I'll just do a short version of it, then I will bring the message from the South African Human Rights. All protocol observed. It's a great honor for me to address you in my capacity as Chairperson of the Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination on this special day for South Africa, which is also a special day for the world. South Africa commemorates its National Human Rights Day on 21st of March. It's also an international day for the elimination of racial discrimination, proclaimed by the United Nations in 1966. As you know, both commemorations are very closely intertwined, and in this particular year, it's also a special one for the Committee of 2025, marks 60 years of anniversary of the adoption of the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, the Convention. Today, we recall the victims of Sharpeville massacre of 21st March 1960, the men, women and men and children who valiantly protested against the inherent justice and horrors of apartheid. Their courage and sacrifice continue to be a powerful reminder and inspiration of the vital significance of the struggle against racial discrimination, apartheid, and segregation for the attainment of democracy. The coast continue by the Committee on Human Rights of the United Nations, and I will pass it on to your office, Deputy President, and to the Minister's office. As I said, all protocol observed. Honorable Deputy President, Your Excellency, today we are gathered here historically for the last 3 decades. The South African Human Rights Commission will be celebrating in October this year 30 years of its existence as founded through its act in 1996. But in the 30 years journey, Deputy President, honorable members, we have seen that we've come a long way in terms of the progressive realization of human rights in this country. But we have not gone enough. We've not gone far enough in the 30 years. The South African Human Rights Commission received on a daily basis, we receive complaints both individually and collectively. We've just read the message from the chairperson of the Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination of the United Nations. And we can agree with that committee that we still have to do a lot to build social cohesion in this country. We have a lot to do to break down the racial barriers. We've still do a lot to build a South Africanship in our country. And over the years, as this commission, we have been confronted with those individual, but also those collective violation of human rights in this country. Our country is founded on the basis of a constitution, which is lauded as the best constitution in the world. But sadly, Your Excellency, we have attained the right to vote, the right to freedom of speech, strong independent judiciary, and a vibrant civil society, to mention a few. But sadly, we still have the hangover of the past. We have the hangover of the past in there as deep-rooted socioeconomic rights that are being violated in this country. While we celebrate our achievements, I wish to highlight the urgent challenges. For 3 decades now, our work as the Human Rights Commission has focused on promoting a culture of human rights, protecting the attainment of rights and monitoring the advancement of human rights in our country. But we do have a number of challenges that still lingers around there that makes us skeptical whether our rights are really fully attained. The access to water and sanitation in this country, The lack of universal water and sanitation coverage means poor communities remain unserved and bear the brunt of current water crisis in this country. Water and sanitation infrastructure are in dire straits, affecting the quality of water available to households and communities. Improving water and wastewater treatment works as the solution. The challenges surrounding the continued bucket system. We cannot, in 30 years of democracy, still have a bucket system in this country and pit toilets. We cannot afford that anymore. And so we say, we cannot, after 30 years of democracy, still have pit toilets and children dying in pit toilets at schools. We need to fight for the eradication of bucket toilets and pit toilets. Last month, I was in a place called Ikanen, outside Ikhini. People have to walk to the bush to relieve themselves. This is still unacceptable. And please, colleagues in government, please let the Human Rights Commission do not subpoena a mayor or a councillor or a minister. Come, let us meet so that together we can find solutions to eradicate bucket toilets and pit toilets in this country. Access to health care. The Premier would have told you that the MEC of Health is worried about his ambulances or ambulances cannot get to because of the state of the roads. The state of the roads make it difficult for emergency vehicles to reach our people in time. So healthcare, the road has got an impact on the right of health of our people. The gross inequalities of public and private health sectors mean that the poor and the vulnerable perpetually face poorer health and mental health care. The establishment of mental health care review boards was a progressive step, and thank you, Mr. Premier, towards access to mental health care. The challenge is now that these boards are not always functional due to the lack of resources and inadequate capacity. The human resource still remains a challenge in the healthcare facilities. But also in the healthcare facilities, Your Excellency, we need to bring back the Batu Pele principles, so that people who work in the public sector respect the patients, respect the clients. They're not doing you a favor. They are there to serve the nation all over the country. And let us bring back the Batu Pele principles of respecting anybody that comes to our offices. Crime is still a huge issue, but crime is not the only responsibility of the police only. We as the community, we've got rights, but we also got responsibility. Sometimes when something happens, the police can't do the investigations because people who witnessed the crime is saying, I don't know, I wasn't there. But you're the first to tell the story on social media. So speak out, stand out, speak loud, support the police. When they come into an area to raid a drug lord or a gang lord, some people are the first people to stone the vehicles of the police. Can we stop that? You've got rights, but you've got responsibilities. And so also on the issue of land, until we resolve the land issue, and particularly may I call Your Excellency, Mr. Deputy President, the issue of the indigenous communities of this country. The indigenous communities of this country cut across all languages and all places in this country. And so, Mr. President, those are some of the challenges. Crime is a challenge for us. And may I just borrow the words of the then Chief Justice, Justice Chaskelson, 1998, of our apex court, whose words remained relevant and true even today. We live in a society where there are great disparities in wealth. Millions of people are living in deplorable conditions and great poverty. There's a high level of unemployment, inadequate social security, and many do not have access to clean water or to adequate health services. These conditions already existed when the Constitution was adopted, and its commitment to address them and to transform our society to one which there will be human dignity, freedom, and equality lies at the heart of our new constitutional order. For as long as these conditions continue to exist, the aspirations will ring hollow. So I appeal to you, those who are in power, legislatures, government ministers, MECs, let us not leave our people behind. And I appeal to municipalities, when you go into the IDP process now, do not do a ticker box. Listen to your ward. Listen to the issues in your ward. Take those issues and put them in the budget of the municipalities. Listen to your people. Make sure the issues of water, sanitation, housing are addressed. And please do not stay away from those consultative meetings, otherwise your voice will be lost. Honorable Premier, two things in this province that I like to highlight. These rights that we have today came with women and men that fought. Some of their bodies are still at Dutch-Kinabala. Some of our bodies, of our women and men that we send out to fight to bring liberation, they are not back in this country. I will plead with you for a brave warrior amongst all, Kev Kuboni from Grafnet, that died at Dutch-Kinabala. His body is still there. Secondly and lastly, Premier, when I look at the graveyards of those who paid with their lives, whether it's Creddock 4, Lizo Bright, Robert Sobukwe, I can gate Onokwe and Bokwe, our graves of those who've gone before us are being desecrated. And if we don't have respect for the dead, how can we have respect for the living? Thank you.
Thank you so much, the Chairperson of the South African Human Rights Commission. Now we will welcome the Core Program Director, Honorable Minister Tolashe. Honorable Minister, over to you.
Malibongwe! Igama lamakhosikazi. Women's rights. Women's rights. Human rights. Human rights. Phambili ke GNU phambili. Hey ta GNU, hey ta. Hey ta GNU, hey ta. Thank you very much, Program Director. This is where we are in this historical celebration of our Human Rights Day in our country. We are happy and delighted, Honorable Deputy President, to be here today with your people. Indeed, this is a pure reflection of Government of National Unity, Minister Mackenzie. We are very proud that we took this decision to have been able to craft this difficult arrangement. It has never happened anywhere in the world. But here in South Africa, once again, it did happen and it is successful. We are now moving with our program. I respect and stand in the protocol that has been established. We are very happy to receive in our midst an important person in our political life, the second Deputy Secretary General of the African National Congress and the Minister of Monitoring and Evaluation, Minister Maruping. Hey, star, Minister, hey, star. Ayaroka, amayanga. Ayaroka, amayanga. Mipi mayanga. Ayaroka, Amayanga yanga. Ayaroka. Thank you very much. Future belongs to you guys. We are ready to be led by young people who must take this country to the next level. We are not afraid to pronounce that, to say we are ready, young people, to be led. Rightfully so. This country belongs to you. So there is no doubt whether we would want a young person and a woman to lead. We are even a twin. We are even a twin. We are even a twin. Young and a young woman to come and lead. Asluang. Kodwa sithi isikhathi sesifikile. Isikhathi sifikile. Ukuthi aroke amayanga yanga, amakhosikazi, recognized as the rightful and equal partners to give strategical responsibility and take our country to the next level. We thank Comrade Chris, even though you are being called a commissioner. We know you from those days. During the days that you represent, to narrate and make sure that you lead us, frown at us, to say we are not supposed to be where we are supposed to be ahead of everybody. You are not saying all this because at some point you played with cats and now you came later on to come and monitor. It is because you are part and parcel of those underground operatives that made us to be where we are today. We appreciate you. Sibane chiki, basixelelwa ngabantu esingabazi basibavelaphi. Basixelela uba masenze ntoni, siyenze njani, siyenze phi. Sibane chiki, basixelelwa ngabantu ebebelele for all these years. When the Langa massacre took place, babedlala nekati kumandi. Bazosixelela here and now. Ukuba simali besenze ntoni na. Qhuba diya. Sibambe ngesandla Eastern Cape. Qenqeza nathi sise apho abantu ababhubha kwilanga massacre ababefuna ukuya khona. There's no confusion here. We are exactly on the route where they died in. They died with their boots on. They lost their lives with their boots on. We are still in that route. It's not an easy route, yes. For those who have traversed, of course, for those who have been falling asleep, it's like can be done with their eyes closed. Siyabiza ke ama-commander nama-commissar. Siyabiza amaqobokazana abatsha nabadala bakhokhele lento bayithathe bayise phambili. Into abadala lena abancinci bayayifunda. Kodwa yinto when the minister says, when the MEC says there are more than 5 massacres in the whole Eastern Cape, I'm saying, link that with the wars of dispossession that took place in this province. Singamavula ndlela, siliphondo lengqwele, ayilogama elo, ukwenza kwethu. Never ever at any given moment, we can undermine the contribution we made on the liberation that we managed to get in this country. And we are now benefiting. Of course, njengemvula iyabanela bonke nabangathandazanga befundisi. Ngoku sibiza istate ngenxa yalendlela eyabonakala ncakasana xa kubulawa abantu abaninzi apha eTinarha eKarigha. Heitha Karigha, heitha. Heitha Karigha, heitha. Abantu balapha kwangoko bayazi uba kuhlale kuvunyelwane njengabantu bengajonganga bala labo bengazibuzanga buni babo kodwa bahlangane ngento eyodwa eyahlonyulwa ngo-1912 yabekwa istampu ngo-1955 kwabuzwa uba kuyawuthini na ke xa sebekhululekile abantu bonke bezwe lethu kwathiwa bona abo bantu bayakulawula. Silapha ngalomqolo we-Freedom Charter ovumayo kuvuma abantu abaninzi nge-26 kaJune eKliptown ngo-1955 bathi people shall govern. That question was responded to because there was a question that arose in 1912 when they all agree ukuba thina Zulu Mxhosa Msuthu hlanganani silwe ilizwe lethu. Ngoku sizawubiza ingqungqumbana uTata Ramaphosa ukhomba abantu ngabantu pha. Xa simfumana u-40% sithithizela singazi uba sawuthini. Yavela laa nto kwathiwa zonke ii-parties zathi sikhokhele Ramaphosa. You must not be apologetic for the fact that we are leading the government of national unity. All parties agreed that we must lead the government of national unity. In that powers anikwe zona, he appointed eminent women and men to lead strategic position. And now we are being led. Kule ngquba kaxaka esikuyo yokutshintsha nokufuna kucaciswe nokutshintshwa kwemithetho elawula abantu. Ukhombe ingqungqumbana ukuba mayithathe lo msebenzi sandayikhomba ithi ingxaki ezikhoyo eKarika, imibuzo abanayo abantwana abaswelekelwa ngabazali babo, abahlali bale ndawo banemibuzo kurhulumente wabo. Bathi ke ngubani na omakasiphendulele? Uminister uKubayi nguye ozawuthetha ngoku, athethe nathi esondela kwingxaki esinazo kurhulumente olukhokelweyo. Uminister Kubayi ke yingqwele, ayingowayizolo. Niyamazi apha eBhayi unikhululela amatyathanga evulela ukuba ze nibe nezindlu nazo zonke into ezininzi. Niyabazi ke nina be-NGO i-7 o'clock meeting. Niyayikhumbula i-7 o'clock meeting. Ndisayazi i-7 o'clock meeting. Sibiza uMinister Kubayi ukuba azothetha nathi, uMinister ojongene nezemithetho nokulawulwa kwazo zonke izinto. Makhosikazi, nali usana lwenu, nangu umntwana wenu, nangu udade wenu, nansi inkokheli yenu bantu base-South Africa ithunywe nguRamaphosa. Over to you, comrade, Minister Kubayi. Thank you very much.
Igama lamakhosikazi malibongwe, 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 malibongwe. Igama lamakhosikazi malibongwe, igama lamakhosikazi malibongwe, 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 malibongwe. Enkosi. Enkosi kakhulu, ndiyabulela. Thank you very much, co-program directors, Minister Dolashe and MEC Ngongo. Acknowledging the presence of the acting president, Paul Mashatile, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, who is leading in terms of hosting Gayton Mackenzie, the Premier of the Eastern Cape, dear the delicious Oscar Mabuyani, ministers, DMs, MECs, Executive Mayor of the Nelson Mandela Municipality, Councillor Babalo Libishi, Chairperson of the South African Human Rights Commission, Advocate Nissel, ladies and gentlemen, and them, good afternoon. Let me start by passing my sincere condolences to the family of Ashwin Trikamji, who has been laid to rest today, who was a prominent leader and lawyer, a human rights defender, and a religious leader who led a life of service to his community and South Africa as a whole. He leaves behind a legacy of love, kindness, and compassion. South Africa indeed has lost a true compatriot. Acting President, yesterday I attended an event of women which had brought together all women from civil society, non-governmental organizations, and ordinary women within Gqeberha. And one of the issues that they had expressed and said, I must come and pass the message, was first message that says, women's rights are human rights. These women are saying to us, Deputy Acting President, that they live in fear because of being victims of gender-based violence and femicide. Correctly as identified by Human Science Research Council, that actually in the country, many experience gender-based violence. 33.1% of women aged 18 years and older had experienced physical violence in their lifetime. Actually, what does this mean? It means at least 3 women out of 10 women aged 18 years and older have experienced gender-based violence in our country. They've raised a concern that says, we have committed as government that we'll release the National Register of those who have violated women and children. But more importantly, Acting President, they have acknowledged that government has, through the President, recognized that GBVF is a pandemic and therefore we are dealing with this. Without the mandate, I have committed our government to continue to work together with women across sectors to ensure that they are protected and their rights are not violated. We have committed that we will release the register because it is important for us to protect the women and protect the children. The register of sexual offenders, we will do so as we amend the legislation. It is a must, it's a necessary action we must do. They've raised the issue and the plight of LGBTQI+ communities. One of the victims was in the meeting saying that she was dragged out of a toilet because she was not allowed to use a female toilet, and saying her rights have been violated. The freedom to choose her sexual orientation being violated. We committed through the government that we'll continue to work with various communities and NGOs as we have done to ensure that there's a response in terms of ensuring that the rights that have been enshrined in our Constitution and that have been actually guaranteed by our Constitution in the Bill of Rights are not violated. As I conclude, Deputy President, Acting President, because you are the main speaker, I am passing a message without going into detail, but acknowledging as the custodian and having the responsibility to lead in terms of ensuring that we do not violate the human rights in the country. Is the issue that we need to understand that human rights go as far as economic empowerment. When women are not economically empowered, they feel that they have been dismantled in terms of ensuring that they can protect themselves and women. But more so, they've urged us that as government, we must work together. We must intensify the fight against patriarchy, because in society, patriarchy continues to ensure women are isolated. Women are not given the rightful places where they are supposed to. But importantly, that when they report issues such as their issues where they have taken out their, what you call court orders, and you find that they are not executed and a woman ends up being killed. They do believe that our government continues to support them to do work, but more still needs to be done. And they've passed the message to you and the president to say, Happy Human Rights Day, but more importantly, they have confidence in you and the leadership of this government that you will continue to protect their rights and the rights that have been fought for so hard, but recognizing that those who came before us, as for Bear, their lives didn't go in vain, they didn't die in vain, but because we are enjoying the freedom as women today that we can hold positions of power, as women today we can choose where to stay, as women today we can be anywhere, and they acknowledge that in your leadership, under your leadership, they will see more progress and empowerment of women. Thank you very much. Malibongwe!
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And now we're going to call a cultural group. Remember, even though we're coming from a very painful history, as Africans, we do celebrate and we sing when it's tough. We sing even when it's good. And this time we're going to call upon a group that raised its hand when everybody was asked a question. Kubani na uzawusenza sichwayite nakubeni sabe sikhumbula imbali engemnandi kodwa sichwayite sikhumbula. Lindo sibiza wena ke uzokwenza lo msebenzi. Over to you, Lindo. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Karika. Goedemiddag, mensen. Good afternoon.
Turur. Let me just quickly check my mic and my guitar. Old pirates, yes, they rob us. Sold out to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took us from the bottom.
We are celebrating. Akona mngcwabo lo. This is not a funeral. That's why we must be happy. In being happy, let's give each other time and opportunity to move forward with our agenda. Thank you very much, Lindo. And now we are ready to test and see Government of National Unity playing itself before South Africans, demonstrating how it is doing well, how it is very coherent, how is it intact, how is it gonna be able to going forward. But Basakaya, there are people who say, izophela, izokuwa. No, those are dreaming. Don't be bothered. Government of National Unity is not going anywhere, anytime. It's the will of the people of South Africa. That's the way they voted. And it must be respected and appreciated by everybody else. Within us, in that Government of National Unity, we've got men and women who love their country, who are ready all the time to serve their people, who left everything to come forward to say, I am ready to come and serve. And now we're going to call a minister who has gone a lot. You can't tell him anything about being a young person in South Africa, about being a child of a family that is poor, grew up in the most devastating situation, apartheid townships, being a young person, went through all the difficulties of a young person in South Africa. However, being able to say, I might be able to have everything, but here is the time. I am ready to serve my people. I don't care what you bring. I don't care the salary you pay. I am ready to come and serve my people. And in the wisdom of our president, Comrade Paul Mashatile, the President of the Republic, appointed this young, vibrant man who is a minister of sports, arts, and culture. And that minister is Minister Gayton Mackenzie. Where are you? Where are you, South Africans? Where are you, young people? We are calling upon a Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture. Gayton Mackenzie, over to you, Minister.
Honorable Deputy President, I got it. Right. Let me start by acknowledging our Deputy President, His Excellency Paul Mashatile, a man that his doors always open when I need some advice on how government operates. Can we please welcome our Deputy President? He took me with him to Japan, so I went on my first state visit as a minister. I want to thank the DP for putting me in his delegation. Thank you so much, DP. My people are also happy. He is not walking alone. He has with him one of the most friendliest people you'll know. She was like a mother to all of us. His lovely wife, Mrs. Mashatile, if she can just stand, And you can see what a beautiful wife our Deputy President has. Just wait for the people. Then, you know, the ministers that are here, the deputy ministers that are here, you'll read a lot of stuff. You'll read a lot of stuff in the newspapers. But I can tell you, when we are together in the GNU, there's no ANC, there's no PA, there's no DA. We are ministers for South Africa. DP, before I come to I want to say to the Premier, I want to be honest. This Premier is an example of how the GNU is working. DP, I called because we want to fix Galvandale swimming pool. We want to fix the schools. I was told 200 things we have to do. I called the Honorable Premier. He said to me, Minister, that is nonsense. Give me 2 hours. Wasn't 2 hours. All the things they ask of us, he sorted out everything. So when you see the pool, he sorted it out. Honorable DP, there was no politics. Him and the mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay, I want to salute you in front of everyone here today. When it comes to service delivery, we must leave politics outside and we must serve the people of South Africa. Thank you for serving the people. I will fail in my duty if I don't recognize the traditional leaders that are here. The Khoi and the San community, they are here. They are taking their rightful place in the political spectrum of South Africa. You are respected, you are welcome, and your presence really makes us all very, very happy. DP, you know, since I became a minister, you and the president, if there's something I don't know, I always ask and you tell me, no, this is how it works. And I've learned a lot from you and the president. But today, I have a challenge for you on this Human Rights Day. I have a challenge because no president in South Africa ever had the guts. No one. And I think President Ramaphosa and Deputy President Paul Mashatile has the opportunity to do what all presidents were scared to do. In 1984, the apartheid regime, Deputy President, came and they invited the colored people to be part of the tricameral parliament. The colored people said, if black people are not part of this parliament, we shall not join the tricameral parliament. And they isolated the Labour Party under Reverend Ellen Hendrikse. On the 6th of September, in the northern areas, 50 colored people were shot dead, and there was an uprising because they said they want black people to be part of them. Because there's no difference between black and colored. We are one nation. We are one people. We should not allow them to separate us. Colored people are not better than black people. Black people are not better than colored people. When, deep in conclusion, when the apartheid regime, when they killed and hanged Solomon Masangu, they killed and hanged Andrew Rivers. When they killed Steve Biko, they killed Ashley Kriel. When they killed Andrew Zondo, they killed Anton French. When they imprisoned Walter Sisulu, they imprisoned Neville Alexander. When they put Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela in Robben Island, he was the second longest serving prisoner. They also put Harry de Strandloper as the first prisoner on Robben Island. So DP was those words. I want to challenge you today, Honorable DP. Let us fix this division amongst our people. Let us be treated as one nation, because there's no difference. With that note, I like happiness. Nobody died here today. We can't call our DP. I must just say, DP, come speak. Is the choir ready? DP, I've got a song for you. Is the choir ready? So we must stand up. We are people of God. We are the children of the highest. The highest. Let's go. Let's welcome the DP with a song. DP, just sit first. Let's welcome the DP with a song that can make us warm. Lekker warm. Ons moet warm is. Die ding moet ruk hierso. Let's go. Hey! Amen! Hallelujah! Hey!
ekhaya Zulu. Oh, ayo, 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 matata, ayo, matata, ayo, motima ayo, 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 matata, ayo, matata, ayo, motima
Hey! Amen! You can feel the Spirit of the Lord is in the house. Mudimu Pabaloi. Can we give our hands? Can we rise again to give the last and the final clap to our capable, very loved Deputy President of South Africa?
You may be seated. Thank you. Thank you very much, program directors. Mandibulise, all program directors, Minister of Social Development, Umama Usisi Tolashe, no MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture in the Eastern Cape, Umama Usibulelo Ngongo. Mandibulise uPremier wase Eastern Cape, Ubaba Oscar Mabuyani, Delicious, Phambili Delicious Phambili. Mandibulise u-Executive Mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, Umama Ulobishi. Mandibulise uMinister we Sports, Arts and Culture. Ndiyabona bayamthanda la eKarieg, uBaba uGayton McKenzie. Ndibulise uMinister we Justice and Constitutional Development, uMama Mamuluko Kubai. Mandibulise uMinister in the Presidency, uMama Umarupini Ramukhopa. Ndisebenza naye pha e-Union Building, uMama Ramukhopa. Mandibulise wonke uMinister abakhona la no deputy ministers abakhona apha namhlanje, amalungu eParliament and provincial legislature akhona apha. Ndibulise all justices of the Constitutional Court and other courts in our land. Chairperson of the Human Rights Commission, Ubaba uChris Nissen, Nimvelo Tete Nati earlier on. Mandibulise all heads and members of our constitutional bodies in Chapter 9 institutions. Ndibulise onke omeya abakhona la namhlanje. We saw no Premier Mashlele lapho. There are a lot of mayors who are here. We greet all of you and all the councillors who have joined us today. Mandibulise all our esteemed traditional and Khoisan leaders who are present here with us today. Mondabezit. Ndibulise ODG, heads of department and all government officials from all levels of our administrations. ambassadors, members of the diplomatic corps, we greet all of you as well, leaders of civil society who are here present with us, and lastly but not least, all distinguished guests who are here and all members of our communities who are here today. Good afternoon, molweni. Compatriots, it is an honor to be here in the Eastern Cape, the home of the legends, especially in Kariga, a community that exemplifies both the tenacity and the challenges faced by many South Africans. Today, Human Rights Day, commemorating the 1960 Sharpeville massacre, in which apartheid police killed 69 peaceful protesters protesting apartheid-era laws, as well as honoring the struggle for freedom and democracy. 65 years have passed since that day when the world bore witness to the brutality of the apartheid government in confronting those who sought equal economic, political, and social rights. Years later, in what was formerly known as Uitenhage and now Kariga, the Langa massacre occurred on the 21st of March 1985, resulting in the indiscriminate killing of more than 20 people who were fighting for justice against the oppressive regime. The Sharpeville and Langa massacres both starkly illustrates the grave human rights violation by the apartheid government. These tragic events exemplifies the immense human cost of oppression and compel us to renew our commitment to building a society where such injustices are never to be repeated. Following international outrage, the United Nations General Assembly declared the 21st of March as International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, highlighting global solidarity in the fight against apartheid and a milestone in the global fight against racism. The 60th anniversary of International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination calls for reflection on progress against racial discrimination and equal treatment for all individuals. Compatriots, this year's commemoration theme is deepening a culture of social justice and human rights. It is not simply a slogan. It is a commitment to ensure justice and equitable outcome for marginalized people, requiring renewed commitment from all sectors of our society. It calls on us to deepen our efforts in building a culture that respects and upholds human rights. This requires us to recognize the inherent value and dignity of every individual, regardless of their background, regardless of their beliefs or circumstances. It is important for us to actively confront the systemic inequalities that perpetuate injustice. The fight for rights and freedom transcends national boundaries. It is a global imperative. Our commitment to this cause is reflected in the efforts of countless individuals fighting for justice around the world and in the sacrifices made by many on different fronts, including the brave South African Defence Force troops deployed to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, as well as closer home here in the Eastern Cape, the highest price paid by a human rights activist and whistleblower, Ms. Pamela Mabini, who was gunned down at her home in Gqeberha a week ago. May their souls continue to rest in eternal peace. We shall always remember them. Program directors, in addition, compatriots, our involvement in the case at the International Court of Justice highlights South Africa's commitment to international justice. Certainly, the pursuit of a just and equitable world requires continuous dedication, not only within South Africa's boundaries, but also globally. We all have a responsibility to create a world in which justice and human rights are upheld by everyone. The Freedom Charter, adopted 70 years ago, remains a relevant document that should give South Africa's path towards a just society. The Freedom Charter's vision of a society where all shall be equal before the law and the doors of learning and culture shall be open resonates deeply with the ongoing struggle to address systemic inequalities and to ensure equal opportunities for all. It calls for land redistribution. It calls for quality health care and the elimination of discrimination. Flowing from this foundational document is the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, with its adoption in 1996 marking a pivotal moment in our history. Beyond its provisions, it highlights a pivotal transition towards justice and equality, a change manifested in the creation of state institutions intended to safeguard our democratic and constitutional principles, such as the Constitutional Court and all Chapter 9 institutions. In particular, the Constitutional Court, established through the first democratic constitution and the 1996 certification case, upholds constitutional supremacy and the rule of law, ensuring equal rights for all citizens and just application of all our laws. Its landmark cases reflect a commitment to social justice, shaping policymaking and legal landscapes while upholding citizens' rights. Another critical institution within this framework is the South African Human Rights Commission, which alongside the Constitutional Court celebrates 30 years since its establishment. These constitutional independent bodies are vital instruments for protecting and promoting human rights. They are essential components of our democratic order that reflects our dedication to the ideals enshrined in our Constitution. Our democratic government has also taken responsibility to respect, protect, promote, and fulfill the rights in the Bill of Rights. We have established an environment that strives to uphold human rights and fundamental freedoms for all. Through the adoption of our Constitution, constitutional obligations have been created for the state, distinguishing us from the divisive government of the apartheid era. It is also 30 years since the establishment of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which served as a crucial step to address past injustices, promote reparations to victims, and promote reconciliation. While progress has been made in certain cases, significant work remains to be done to fully implement the TRC's recommendations, particularly in addressing systemic inequalities and ensuring that all victims receive appropriate redress. When we were doing our earlier programs this morning, the Minister of Justice said to me, she's going to make sure that she addresses this problem. She said, I can see that a lot of TRC issues have not been addressed, and I'm going to make sure that I attend to them urgently. Thank you, Minister of Justice, for that commitment. Program directors, restorative justice is a continuous process requiring commitment from all sectors of society. The TRC has been hailed for its innovative approach to holding those responsible for human rights violation accountable and fostering reconciliation amongst all South Africans, a model that has been adopted now by many countries post-conflict. The African Union has adopted the theme, Justice for Africans and People of African Descent through Reparations for 2025, urging South Africa to share its experience in adopting an incremental approach to reconcile past apartheid and colonial history. Compatriots, the pursuit of a just and equitable society is a complex endeavor. While South Africa has experienced notable economic growth through expanding economic participation, the harsh reality of a 81.9 unemployment rate starkly reveals our ongoing struggle against poverty and inequality. This is not merely an economic issue. It represents a fundamental matter of human rights and fairness, demanding concerted and sustained effort from all of us. The lack of economic and employment opportunities has a direct correlation to poverty, and it exacerbates inequality. Government is working to create more opportunities for all citizens through various policies and legislative frameworks. Programs such as the Presidential Youth Employment Initiatives are providing work now to over 1.5 million young people, 70% of whom are women. Other initiatives like National Skills Fund, Disability Program, and the Social Employment Fund also address youth unemployment. Government remains committed to strengthening the safety net for the most vulnerable in our society. We will leave nobody behind. As we commemorate Human Rights Day this year, we are reminded that the legacy of our struggle is not just one of remembrance, but one of action. Across the country, young people continue to step forward to shape the future of our democracy, ensuring that the rights enshrined in our Constitution is not just theoretical, but truly lived. One such initiative is the Mandela Sobukwe Leadership Camp, currently taking place at Nelson Mandela University here in Gqeberha. This program, hosted in partnership with the Department of Higher Education and Training, Health, and Nelson Mandela University, brings together students, leaders from universities, TVET colleges, CET colleges across the Eastern Cape. This leadership program is about more than just discussions. It is about preparing young leaders to champion civic engagement, ethical leadership, and economic justice in their institutions and communities. As we reflect on the theme, deepening a culture of social justice and human rights, we must ensure that we continue to empower young people with the correct tools, platforms, and opportunities to become the leaders of tomorrow. Leaders who, like Nelson Mandela and Robert Sobukwe, do not just accept the status quo, but actively work to transform it for the better. I commend the young people in this program, whom I'm told are here in this stadium today, but also all those across the country who continue to fight for dignity, for justice and progress. South Africa's future is in your hands, and today we celebrate your voices, your leadership, and your unwavering commitments to human rights. We are proud of you. Compatriots, building a just society involves ensuring continued access to critical services, such as electricity, water, and sanitation, housing, to improve the quality of lives of all citizens. Our government has made substantial progress towards achieving these rights. Between 2011 and 2022, access to water rose to 88.5%, whilst access to improved sanitation reached 80.7%. But we know we have to do more. We have to do more to reach even areas like where we are in Kariga. We are also working to increase access to affordable housing through initiatives such as First Home Finance, which is about the provision of service sites for qualifying beneficiaries, small-scale affordable rentals, and other strategic interventions that go beyond legislative measures to address more than 2.4 million housing backlog. Compatriots, it is important to remember that apartheid had a huge economic impact due to its systemic dominance, marginalization, and dispossession. The Native Lands Act of 1913, a cornerstone of colonialism and apartheid, restricted land ownership and occupation by black South Africans, leading to forced removals and the creations of native reserves, ultimately paving the way for further racial segregation. I'm happy to hear that the Premier is already addressing the issue of land that was raised by those communities that are here today. Thank you very much, Premier, for doing that. Program directors, our land reform agenda is therefore a crucial step towards healing the historical wounds of the past, as it acknowledges that land dispossession remains one of the most lasting and difficult legacy of that era. The Expropriation Act, signed into law by President Cyril Ramaphosa in January this year, signifies a shift towards a more inclusive approach to land ownership, incorporating the principle of public interest in land acquisition and demonstrating a commitment to social justice and redress. We would like to reiterate that South Africa, as a sovereign state, would not disregard its policies and activities aimed at rectifying historical injustices due to external pressures. We are confident that we have chosen the correct path to establishing an equitable society, and we will not deviate from it. Abantu bakithi mabanikezwe umhlaba. Abantu bakithi mabanikezwe umhlaba ukuze bazolima bakhe nezindlu kulowo mhlaba. Program directors, the National Development Plan further emphasizes the importance of land reform in unlocking the potential of the agricultural sector to drive dynamic economic growth and create employment opportunities that contributes to more just and prosperous future. Siyazi ukuthi baninzi abantu abahlala ezilalini, in rural areas, they need land for agriculture. They want to be farmers. So let's make sure that they get the land so that they can farm. It also necessitates robust and accessible infrastructure that connects communities and empowers citizens. Adequate infrastructure that connects communities and empowers citizens is very important as we move forward with our programs, but also protecting human rights and fostering a more equitable society. While we acknowledge the significant infrastructural backlog that have hindered progress in this area, the 940 billion rands allocated to infrastructure over the 3 years, along with 102 billion invested in current projects in infrastructure fund portfolio, will be crucial in addressing these shortcomings. Nemvelo Minister of Finance, uthe in the next 3 years, uzawi spend le mali. 940 billion is close to R1 trillion. Uzawi spend in economic opportunities, supporting infrastructure so that our people can get jobs. Compatriots, the significance of these funds will ensure that we invest more in water and sanitation infrastructure, human settlements, building houses, renewable energy, recreational, heritage and maritime infrastructure, upgrading roads, refurbishing state-owned infrastructure, and health facilities, to mention but just a few. Our social justice strategy must focus on equipping citizens with the knowledge and skills necessary to access opportunities and build a better life for all. In this regard, education is paramount. By strengthening our education system and addressing challenges such as scholar transport and malnutrition, we can create pathways for equal opportunities. In this regard, the full implementation of the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act 2024, known to many of us as the Bella Act, will promote early childhood development by optimizing and strengthening foundational learning. Ongoing efforts to increase access to education through mobile classroom and eliminate pit toilets. I heard someone was complaining earlier about pit toilets. So this law is going to help us eliminate those pit toilets. The Department of Basic Education launch of an application in 2024 to track pit toilets eradication is critical for fostering a more just society and ensuring safe school environment, particularly for our young learners. We are also happy about projects similar to the one that Minister Mackenzie was showing us this morning, providing facilities for our young children. Because when they are in school, they must learn, but they must also have time to get involved in sport and arts and culture and other activities. Thank you, Minister Mackenzie, for that project. I know that other ministers are going to be also contributing to this project because Minister Mackenzie said it must be done in all schools throughout the country. We must provide these facilities. Program directors, additionally, the Department of Basic Education is committed to ensuring quality education for all children, especially those in rural areas. The Department of Basic Education is also reviewing scholar transport policy to better accommodate learners with disabilities. The goal is to make education accessible and tangible for everyone, regardless of their social or economic status. We cannot achieve social justice without actively including and uplifting those who have historically been marginalized in our society. This imperative is pertinent when we consider the dimensions of poverty, inequality, notably the experiences of women in South Africa. We must acknowledge progress made in the urgent need to tackle gender-based violence. The Human Sciences Research Council first national study revealed the widespread nature of gender-based violence, impacting women's access to justice and highlighting the need for collective action. Addressing this crisis requires strengthening institutional capacity, especially within law enforcement agencies, and a comprehensive response. We acknowledge the recent findings of the Public Protector, highlighting administrative deficiencies in its report on gender-based violence. Our systems must indeed work for the people. The National Prosecuting Authority, the NPA, has high conviction rates for femicide, intimate partner femicide, and sexual offenses, demonstrating a strong commitment to justice. The National Council on Gender-Based Violence Act of 2024 further strengthens this commitment. Program Director, we must also urgently address the critical challenges in the justice system, including tackling DNA backlogs and expanding access to Zela care centers to ensure that survivors receive both support and justice. The 2022 Presidential Summit on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide highlights the importance of economic empowerment in combating this pandemic. Despite progress in women's representation in middle and senior management positions, particularly between 2019 and 2023, significant work remains to be done to achieve full gender parity. This requires sustained efforts to empower women economically and address the root causes of gender-based violence and femicide. Malibongwe. Malibongwe. Program directors, to establish a society where all individuals can live with dignity, security, equality, we must actively challenge systemic inequalities that are harmful or who have harmful norms that perpetuate violence against women and other vulnerable groups. We have noted that gender-based violence and HIV/AIDS are interconnected issues, disproportionately affecting all these vulnerable groups. The recent withdrawal of PEFA funding by the new USA administration, which currently funds about 17% of South African health programs, may exacerbate this situation, threatening access to essential healthcare services. This highlights an urgent need to build a resilient and self-reliant healthcare system. So singahlale sikhale ukuba asazoyithola imali ebuya eMelika. Masimeni ngeenyawo sizimele thina siyabantu basemzansi. Awuzawuqhubeka lama program we-HIV AIDS. Bazawuqhubeka bathole i-treatment abantu abaku i-treatment HIV AIDS. Noma laba baseMelika bayathanda noma abathandi, izawuqhubeka le program. Iqhutshwa sithi abantu basemzansi Afrika. Program Director, what we will do as a government of national unity is to ensure that we commit ourselves to a pro-poor budgeting strategy that directly enhances the lives of the most vulnerable by directing resources towards those in need, thus making human rights a tangible reality. Embracing a culture of social justice and human rights requires active participation from all citizens. Our democratic government gives previously excluded communities a powerful voice, stressing the critical importance of participating in collectively molding our country's future. Sifuna ukuhamba na wonke umuntu, ashiye umuntu emuva, as we mold this new democracy, as we entrench democracy in our country and build a better future for our people, we must leave no one behind. Active participation is not just a right, but a responsibility to uphold the ideals enshrined in our Constitution. Program Director, the 2024 elections highlighted the challenges we face in promoting active citizenship and fostering a culture of participation and accountability. I'm raising these issues because we noted that out of 27.2 million registered voters, only 16.2 million cast their votes. Bakhona abangaphumanga ezindlini ukuyovota. It's important that we must all come out, let us all participate, because that's how we are going to shape this country. That's how we are going to ensure that we build democracy together. Program directors, even amongst these challenges, the formation of the Government of National Unity demonstrates a powerful response to the call for collaboration and partnership. The message from all our people was very loud and clear: work together. That was the message we got. So as a Government of National Unity, we have to work together because that's what our people want. The Government of National Unity thus represents a direct response to people's desire for unity in tackling our nation's most pressing challenges. The GNU is committed to implementing 3 strategic priorities. The first one is inclusive growth and creating jobs. Second one, reducing poverty and addressing the high cost of living. And lastly, but not least, to build a capable state that is ethical and developmental, that will prioritize at all times the human rights of our people. The success of the GNU's ambitious agenda depends on the active participation of each and every citizen. In the same spirit of participation, the President will, later this year, lead what we call the national dialogue. We will ensure that this dialogue is inclusive and allows everyone to contribute to what we need to do to build a country of our dreams. Kule dialogue, sizoba uhulumeni sodwa. We are going to work with NGOs. We are going to work even with political parties that are not in government. We are going to work with all parties that are in parliament, but civic organizations as well as foundations, some of them that are led by our former leaders. Sawusebenza na wonke umuntu ukuba sihlale kule national dialogue sithethe ngenkinga zomzansi Afrika. Sithethe nokuthi le inkinga zomzansi Afrika solungisa kanjani ukuba siphumelele siye phambili. Even the traditional leaders, the Khoisan leaders, will be at that dialogue. Even the priests, leaders of religion, will be at that dialogue. Everybody will be there. The task before us, therefore, requires a unified effort, a partnership between government, civil society, also business people. We want to make sure that business people are also there at that national dialogue. So this national dialogue is going to be a representation of all citizens. Let us embrace our individual responsibility to shape our nation's future by exercising our democratic rights and working together to build a South Africa where social justice and human rights are not merely ideals, but are a lived reality for all of us. Let us continue to be champions of social justice and human rights. Those who were carrying placards earlier, the Premier has already addressed them to say, work with us. I'm going, in addition to what the Premier has said, I'm going to be talking to the Minister of Land and Rural Development to be able to work with the Premier to address not only the challenges of those people who are having placards this morning, but everybody who has a challenge of land in this province must receive our attention. Program Director, in conclusion, I want to say on behalf of the President and the whole of our government, I wish all of you a happy and memorable Human Rights. May we continue to enjoy the day, but let us never forget those who sacrifice with their lives to ensure that we enjoy this democracy. Siyabulele.